San Diego Pride officially begins in just a few days. It's July 9th, all building up to the Pride Parade on July 16th, with hundreds of thousands of people expected. This morning, the executive director of San Diego Pride joins us, Fernando Lopez Jr. We appreciate you being with us this morning. Happy Pride.
Happy
you can
Pride.
still say that, right, in July?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Pride Month in San Diego.
You were just saying, I mean, like, we get kind of an elongated celebration here because a lot of people are celebrating Pride in June, but we carry it on over through July where, I mean, you guys have a lot planned for the next week or so.
Yes, we do. It's here, and I think everyone's so ready to come out and celebrate after 3 years of being apart.
That's right. I mean, COVID stopped those Pride parades. I've lived in San Diego for 2 years, and this is the first time I'll actually be able to be a part of the festivities. So
well, welcome. We have the best one.
That's what I hear, and I mean, it's pretty incredible. 300,000 people come to San Diego. I mean, residents and visitors alike. It's a huge celebration.
Yeah, only 30% of those folks come from inside the city of San Diego. The rest of them come from outside, and so we actually have about a $30 million economic impact on the region. So we're second only in economic impact to Comic-Con.
And that's incredible. Wow. When we talk about Pride, we've seen some videos, and we're actually looking right now at the celebration. And I use the word celebration with a little bit of hesitance because I feel like this year especially, there is also an emphasis on justice, like part of your theme. How do you bridge that, the celebration versus there's still a ways to go in the movement, right?
Yeah, well, you know, the origins of the global Pride movement were our community fighting back against state-sanctioned police brutality and violence, right? And so we know that right now our community is under attack all across this country, including conversations and legislation talking about recriminalize our community, recriminalizing. They're talking about putting LGBT people in jail right now. This is the conversation that we're fighting against. And so in the global Pride movement, there's this conversation about, are we a celebration? Are we a protest? And what you see in Pride organizations around the world is everyone sort of takes on the reflection of their own community, and we believe fundamentally that we can do both, right? Yeah. San Diego Pride is the largest Pride staff in the world, the most philanthropic Pride in the world. So when you come and you support our organization, when you come to the parade, when you buy a ticket, when you buy a beverage at the event, you are funding that year-round education and advocacy work that our community really needs.
And I mean, you've been in San Diego since what, 99?
Yes.
And did you start as a homeless youth in San Diego, is that right?
Yes.
So tell us your story.
Well, so I, like so many young people, were homeless, right? 40% of all 40% of all youth are LGBT identified because their parents throw them out on the street like garbage. Right. And that, unfortunately, was me. Now, I'm lucky to be where I am, but so many folks are fighting against that discrimination even today. And we like to think that we're so safe and protected here in California, but the lived experience of an LGBT person in East County is very different than in the heart of Hillcrest, right? So we know that discrimination continues to happen every day, and that's what we're fighting against.
So, I mean, you obviously have the celebration, and I think that the LGBT community in San Diego is stoked for this. They plan months in advance, like you guys do. For people who are maybe not quite sure, they haven't been to a Pride parade before, they don't know what it's like, they're maybe a little bit worried about it being too, quote unquote, in your face. This is the stigma that is always kind of spread. What should people know for people who want to be allies of the community? Well,
so you know, we haven't had Pride in 3 years in the same way that we normally do, and it's always somebody's first Pride. Right. This year, there's going to be a lot of delayed first Prides, and I think you always remember that feeling of joy and liberation and just being able to be in a space where you're 100% authentically yourself when you don't ever have that opportunity in your day-to-day life, in your institutions of faith, at your school, maybe with your own family and friends. And so Pride provides that opportunity. And what I think folks who are maybe allies or not a part of our community don't understand is that when you're bullied, harassed, discriminated against in your daily life, having a safe civic space to just be yourself is a social justice issue. Right. And that's what we get to do for our community every single year, starting this weekend. And it just, you know, everyone's going to come back, have their first Prides, and be in love and see daylight again.
A cause that I feel like a lot of people don't really get to champion, you know, in their day-to-day, like you said. So for people who are going out, there's also a variety of events. This obviously culminates to Pride, the parade itself on the 16th. But this is not just the 16th, right? What's going on throughout the week?
Well, so tomorrow, the mayor, our mayor, Todd Gloria, first openly LGBT mayor, is kicking off Pride Week in Balboa Park. And then we've got She Fest this weekend. weekend in the
Yeah.
heart of Hillcrest, the Women's LGBT Festival. We have our Interfaith Light Up the Cathedral event happening next Wednesday. Our Spirit of Stonewall Rally is on Friday. And then, of course, the 5K Parade and Festival next weekend. It's going to be great.
Part of that is also, I believe, a protest against the recent Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. How does that kind of play into Pride? I'm sure that was kind of a conversation amongst you guys of how to incorporate that as part of Pride.
Yeah, if you look at the work of our organization, we really do a lot of intersectional work. There's this thing that we have called our Pillars of Justice, where we have a focus on environmental justice, economic justice, reproductive justice, on and on, from an intersectional LGBTQ lens. So we have Reggie Greer, who was the former LGBT liaison to the White House, is going to be our keynote speaker. He's currently with the State Department doing international work. If you look at the lineup of speakers, that's really at that Spirit of Stonewall Rally. That's where a lot of those sort of really political messages come from. That's where you get to hear about what's next in the fight, what is happening right now, and how can you get engaged in the movement. So that's my favorite event, the Spirit of Stonewall Rally.
Okay.
I hope folks show up to that.
And the parade itself is free to attend, right?
100%. That largest civic event,
Right.
100% free. Show up, have a good time.
Probably Uber, right? Or maybe get a ride
Public
there.
transportation,
Yeah, you don't
bicycle,
wanna-
walk. Yeah,
you
get
don't
there
want
early.
to try to park there. For the weekend itself, you've also got the kind of Friday through Sunday weekend celebration in Balboa. Tell us about that. And we only have a few seconds, so remind people where they can get tickets.
Sure. Tickets at sdpride.org. It is the last day to buy discounted tickets.
Okay.
2-day massive festival, literally hundreds of LGBTQ entertainers across 5 different stages. It's an incredible, there's something for everyone. Check us out on the website.
Congratulations on all the work that your team has put in over the last 12 months. I mean, we know it's a year-round planning effort.
Absolutely.
And good luck. You got a big next couple weeks ahead of you. So
Yes.
we'll be there, and you can, of course, find out more on the CVSA Pride Guide. It's on our homepage as well. So we'll be right back after this quick break. Fernando, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.